Okay.
Uh-huh.
This is Joyce Tice at the History Center in Mansfield. It's September 2024, and I'm talking to Barbara Rieppel York. The occasion is the 100th anniversary celebration of Girl Scouts in Mansfield. And Barbara was part of a very unusual troop that went to Europe for 6 weeks in 1956. And Barbara's going to tell us about that trip. Where do you start, Barbara?
Probably the important place to start is where are we going to find money enough to do it? And how can we do it? Well, we began with selling Girl Scout cookies, selling candles, having rummage sales. Oh my goodness, I can't remember everything we did. And some days we didn't even want to get up on Saturday to go work.
Selling magazines
Yes,
and newspaper subscriptions.
You're right. Exactly. And we each had a little bank book that came from First Citizens. And we kept track of every time we earned a little bit of money at one of the events. I tried to find mine this morning, but circumstances have hid it from me.
It was a long time ago.
It was, yeah. And it's sobering to look back at these things and realize, oh my goodness, I was a kid. And I hadn't really learned too much, or so it seemed. And Mother had saved all the letters I sent home, so I decided to read them the other day. And I thought I was a good person. Well, those letters had so much gossip in them. It was terrible. So I have to still work on that. So probably the best thing to say is Mrs. Lloyd had this dream, and I think partly because she visited Europe in 1936. And she knew her son would be in the service probably. He would visit Europe through the service. But she was really concerned about Juliana. So she thought, well, the Scouts could go.
Juliana was her daughter.
Yes, that's true. I didn't think. And in fact, she was named after the Queen of Holland, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the ambitious lady really kept us going. She had contacts because she liked to go to Girl Scout training camps, and she would meet up with people that had influence, and she got us pen pals. We were writing letters back and forth. And when we finally went on our trip, we were able to stay at the homes of our pen pals. So that was
nice.
That was quite an economical savings. And sometimes we stayed at hostels overnight. We might have been in a hotel a few times. I remember one in particular. It was, my friend Nancy and I shared a room. Well, the street workers started early that morning. And I said to Nancy, how are we going to sleep? She says, I don't know. Nancy didn't worry about things like I did. So I looked out the window. They're getting more nosy, and they're closer. So I went and got a glass of water and threw it out the window. Nancy's looking out the other window, and I hit the man right on the head with the water. And then afterward, when we settled down, we thought, oh, that was a terrible thing to do. It could have multiplied into something pretty nasty.
Well, at least it wasn't the glass.
That's right.
It's just the water.
Just the water. But she and I laughed about that for many times afterward.
So how did you travel over to Europe?
Oh, we caught a ride, you might say, on the SS Franconia. It's an English ship, and it's the little ship that took our people, Stalin and Churchill and Roosevelt, I think, to the Yalta Conference.
Wow.
And so after we came back from Europe, poor little Franconia was dry docked because it was getting old and worn out. It had been 10 years since World War II. So
Right.
It probably was getting...
Rickety.
Yeah, that's the right word. But it was still an amazing experience. And when I smell soapy water, I still remember the laundries on the bottom wall.
Wow.
It's just one of those things.
Right. Well, and you've got some wonderful pictures that illustrate your trip.
Yeah, the things we did. I suppose I should start at the beginning. Let's see. This is a little.
Okay, these are, yeah, some of your friends. Let's see. I've got to get my glasses on here. But we've got Diane Huffnagel, Juliana Lloyd, Martha Smith, Barbara Rieppel, that's you, Nancy Cleveland. 5.
Yeah.
And Florence Sturdevant Lloyd was your leader.
Yes. And Shirley Sandrock was the assistant.
Now here, this is you on the ship?
That's Nancy in the corner, and it's Shirley Sandrock and Florence Lloyd.
Okay, Florence is in the middle there.
Yeah, that's right. And these pictures were a rainy day on shipboard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're all bundled up in your coats and scarves
Yeah.
and looking over the railing.
Oh, let's see. What should I bring out next?
What countries did you go to?
Well, we started out in England, and we spent a day in Scotland as guests of the English Girl Scouts. Then we went to Norway, Sweden, Denmark, side trip to Switzerland, and then back through France and England and home.
Wow,
Yeah, that's quite a few.
right. So what particular...
Oh, we got into Germany too. I may
Oh,
not
did
have
you?
said so. I forgot to say that. Yes, we were in Germany too.
Well, this little piece that I got out of the paper
Yeah.
gives a little daily agenda starting already 3 weeks into your trip. I guess we don't have notes on the first 3 weeks, but
They're home, so
are
I'll
they?
get it for you.
Boy, I would love to see those.
Yeah.
But this starts out in a Swiss chalet.
Yeah, that's one of the big events. We were representatives of the U.S. at the first Ranger Adventure Week. And they called it Ranger Adventure because it added up Girl Scouts and Girl Guides. And it was quite an event. I mean, they had all kinds of things for us to do. And then we were supposed to entertain back with our folk songs and Negro spirituals, square dancing, that sort of thing. I can't remember what everybody else did, but I remember what we did.
Right.
It was an event.
Yeah, you had to sing for your supper.
That's right. and it was funny, too, because we ran into a Girl Guide leader that was not too fond of Americans.
Oh, really?
And she just thought we were so wasteful.
Wasteful.
Yes. And so while we were there, we learned to eat cucumbers with the skins on. We also ate apple cores at her insistence. But we survived because we didn't stay very long.
Right. It was only a day.
Right on. But it's comical, the little idiosyncrasies that people get tied up in. And they really turn funny when you spend some time remembering them. But at the time, they didn't seem funny.
Very serious.
Exactly. Exactly.
So when you got back, people must have been really excited to hear about your trips.
Oh, it was funny. The folks wanted to hear every ounce in detail. But our own peers, they didn't want to hear it. I guess they're afraid we'd brag.
Do you think they were jealous?
I don't know for sure. I couldn't say.
Well, it's something to be jealous of. It's not an opportunity that most people...
Well, that part's true. But I don't really know for sure if that was part of it or not. I just noticed that if you opened your mouth and started, you better quit quick. It just didn't seem to be what we thought it might be.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Nobody wanted our autograph either.
No? So you were gone, what, 6 weeks?
Yes, yes.
In the summer?
And it cost us $600.
Each?
Each, yes.
And that was a lot of money.
Yeah, and it took a long time to get that much. And there were foundations that helped us out, too. It wasn't all just us and our folks. So it was quite a community event, you might say.
Well, in the newspapers, the articles about fundraising started in '54, at least 2 years before
Yeah.
it actually happened.
That's right, yeah. And we sure got tired of fundraising, but we got pretty good at it.
Yeah, professionals.
Yeah. Horace Packer Foundation, the CEHL outlet involved it, and it seems like there was some more to it, but it must be, I missed the sheet that's got all of that on it. But Camp Edith Macy is where Mrs. Lloyd went for quite a few training events during the summertime, and they helped too. Yeah, I think there were some others that donated money, but I didn't put them on this sheet. I guess I wasn't paying attention.
Well, there were some in the paper where, a lot of the townspeople that donated $1, $2, which was significant money.
Absolutely,
in the 50s.
because it kept you involved.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
And they didn't have big money to donate.
That's right, and lots of times the folks that have little are most generous with it. Let's see. Yeah, we had a membership in the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, so that was a help to keep us tuned into what we needed to do, and all the shots and vaccinations and all that jazz that we needed.
Did you bring back a lot of souvenirs?
No,
Didn't have the money.
Yeah. My folks gave me $30 and I brought back 10. So I was
Wow.
pretty proud of myself.
Wow.
Yeah. Because most foods and snacks were already paid for, so that was a big help. It just took care of the details before you even thought of the details. So we were very fortunate.
It wasn't a luxury trip.
Not really. Very basic. But it was worth it. It really was.
Now, I know that Diane Huffnagel, Katie is still in town. What about the other women who were, the other girls that were on the trip?
Well, Lloyd lives down in Florida.
Uh-huh.
Martha's gone and Nancy's gone.
Okay.
Yeah. Boy, Nancy went west to have a transplant, and I couldn't tell you which organ it was.
Uh-huh.
And she told May Cleveland, who was her sister-in-law, "Don't worry about me. Jesus will take care of me." Well, we didn't get her back, but...
Uh-huh. Well, so what do you think was the most important memory of your trip?
I think the whole business at our chalet and the staff house was probably the highlight, because that was, you might say, Girl Scouts and Girl Guides all day long.
Uh-huh.
And that was special. And then to have the attention of Lady Baden-Powell was just, oh my goodness, just like having your favorite Aunt Susie close by.
Isn't that nice?
Oh, I thought it was, yeah. And then to find out that she was her husband's official driver, I thought, yay.
Hiking in the Swiss Alps. Now, that's not something that most of us do. And I was reading the paper there, that little blurb, that you took the train part way up and the ski lift part way up and walked down.
Yeah, that was easier than doing it the other way.
Well, I would think so.
Yeah, because a lot of the mountains are very much like this one picture of the... this is called the Jungfrau, which is real high in the Alps. But where the chalet is, it's very much like that.
Well, that was an exciting trip.
It truly was. I really would have a hard time picking out the most favorite, because each event was elegant and special. And it was in extreme competition with the one we just finished. It was, I couldn't tell you that.
Well, we appreciate your coming in, and you just spoke to a group upstairs in honor of the 100th anniversary of Girl Scouting in Mansfield.
Boy, that's exciting, too.
We thank you for your time and your memories and your pictures.
Well, good enough.
Okay.